Welcome back to the Entertainment Roundup. I'm J77, doing this actually live in the Starbucks Cafe in Park Slope, Brooklyn. Something that I'll be doing from time to time, depending on what I am actually doing. I have a very busy 2-day weekend, so actually, this is actually a good thing. And believe me, I'm not gonna get much sleep throughout these next 2 days because I'll be doing a lot of typing and a lot of recording. So I said, what the hell? Might as well get an entertainment roundup article up, and I might as well start up with some of the tragedies that has happened. I can't really say tragedy, but some of the sad news that has happened. One in the sporting world, a professional wrestling, and of course in the Hollywood world of movies and TV. Let's start with the sporting world because that's something that I've heard first. Um, as you guys should know, if you're a WWE fan or just a wrestling fan in general, the American Dream Dusty Rhodes has passed away at the age of 69. This came surprisingly as a big of a flash within the standard media, which is radio and television. They mentioned it, but they didn't go into full details. For what I understood, when I finally went to YouTube, got some of the news from there as well as Twitter, that he had passed away after collapsing in his home. He was rushed to the hospital where he was gathered by families and friends, and he had passed away during that time. Everyone from the wrestling world, including Triple H, his son Dustin, and Cody have expressed their sadness, and even the fans have expressed their sadness as to the passing of a great legend. He has had a lot of great matches. My memory of him came during his later career, as he played the American Dream with Starfire in the WWF, now the WWE era, through the late 80s all the way to the 90s. But he was still a very active member of the wrestling community. Did a lot of stuff after he retired. Was inducted into the Hall of Fame. So he still became pretty much an active member, and still did some appearances from time to time for the WWE. So it was very, very fun to see him there, and hearing his passing is a huge, huge loss because he was one of the biggest contributors, one of the great mentors for other wrestlers that are coming in the door right now. So wrestling did lose a great class act guy. He was very professional in his business, and it was very fun to see on television. He was one of those wrestlers that when you look at him, you say, this guy's actually a wrestler, but he sold it, and man, did he sell it good. So those are the stories that is hit here, that has actually been thrown out there, that it hit the airways. And for the sporting world, the wrestling world, it is a very sad moment. Now, I can't say for sure because I know WWE hasn't have moved away from those special memorial dedications. I think after the Chris Benoit situation, they toned it down a little bit. They're not. I don't think they're gonna do it now, but I think they're gonna mention it in Raw. I don't know if they mentioned it in SmackDown, but I'm pretty sure that they will mention it at one point or another. When Raw hits, probably more in detail. I know Jim Ross have mentioned it in his Twitter account, that about his feeling towards the passing of um, one of his great good friend, and also a fellow colleague. So I don't know if they're gonna do a full dedication. They haven't done it in a while. But even if they don't, just by them mentioning to him, just by bringing it up, it's good enough for me. So again, Dusty Rhodes passing away at the age of 69, a very huge loss for wrestling. This also brings up another situation, another sad story, which was kept under wraps for a while, for what I understand, but it's finally been servicing. Christopher Lee, a actor who needs no introduction. This guy is a great legend in cinema. He did it all, and he's one of the few actors that I know of who continue his career in even at age 90 and didn't even think about retiring. He was just one of those actors who stayed active, who loved the business, and his resume goes back almost in the late 40s to even to now. So that's how great he was. And think about this: the actor's longevity can go from 10 to 20 years. His longevity never stopped. He was always in demand, and if you've seen some of the roles that you never thought he would do, like for instance, I never thought that Christopher Lee should ever did Gremlins. He still find a way to make it work. He's one of those actors that demands the presence of the screen, and hearing his passing was something not of a shock, but I was kind of saddened to hear because again he was up in that age. He passed away at at the age of 93, and he was still active at the age of 93. I believe there was um, two more projects he have done before his passing. But think about that for a moment. At that age, still in demand. Hollywood still calling your phone saying, "Could you do this? Could you do that?" That tells you how much respect that he had for the directors, the studios, the producers. He is that good. He is that professional. And you don't have to take my word for it. Look for a film, even a film that you don't even like, and you see just his presence alone is worth watching. Like I said, the one thing I take very, very pride in with the Star Wars prequels is that they had an actor that was there that should have been there a lot more than what he did, and for what it's worth, his presence made the film all more better. And I only regret that he should have been used a lot more as the prequels came to an end. But I got my money's worth, especially with the Lord of the Ring, and to me that was more than enough than I can say. Um, Again, these are actors that I considered top-notch actors, and sadly, these are actors uh, that I considered that were true actors. There's not too many actors right now that I can say right now that really had a passion, a love for the film. A lot of these actors, you can easily tell. You don't have to take my word for it. You see it in their performance that they're just there just to collect a paycheck. I never once felt that Christopher Lee in his films he was there to collect a paycheck. Sure, he was getting paid a lot of money, but there's a passion that went with his work. He loved his work and he gave it his all. I don't think anyone in the business can say that he was just milking it, because if he was milking it, he would not last this long in the business. That was an actor who loved what he was doing and continued to do what he was doing up until his death. And to me, those are actors that are very, very hard to find. These are actors that don't really come often anymore in this business. And so he is definitely going to be missed. I know that the UK, the entertainment industry in the UK is doing something special for him, and rightfully so. He definitely had impacted. He actually impacted industry a lot, doing in the UK, and so it's definitely there's going to be a lot more stories filtering out. There's actually a lot of stories filtering out right now, but the most important thing that I read is that he had a love for the business. Sir Christopher Lee passing away at the age of 93. Again, this was actually a late announcement. It just started filtering down, but they really announced it just a few days ago, and he was in the hospital for a while for heart failure, and finally it was announced that he did in fact pass away. So again, my heart and condolences go out to the family, and again, Hollywood lost another great legend in the business. So that's what I want to get out the way as quickly as possible. Oh, by the way, if I'm talking low, it's because I am with a lot of other people here, so keep that in mind. So I do apologize if my voice sounds lower than usual. I try to adjust my mic so that way you can catch me there. So in any case, let's move on. I'm going to go back to wrestling a little bit because it is something that have just recently caught my attention. It's involving a lawsuit. Now, this is an article that is done. Um, I don't know if it's an independent, but it's done in WNYC News. This was done this recently on the 12th of June. So I will leave a link for you guys to look at. There is some audio, but I'm not gonna talk about the audio right now. But it calls the Squawker GAWKER had posted a video of professional wrestler Hulk Hogan, having sexual intercourse with his wife of one of the wrestler's closest friends. Now, Hogan took to the gossip blog, to court, seeking to have the video removed from the site, which the site refused to do. After years of legal wiggling, the case is due to go to trial next month. So there was no settlement. This is supposed to be done in Florida, not too far from Hogan's hometown. According to this article, the judge overseeing the process has not ruled in this site's favor, and in the past, in the settlement amongst many at Gronks Media headquarters at the suburban Florida, jury will be more sympathetic towards Hogan's contentions that the video posted was an invasion of the wrestler's icon's privacy. Really, you think? Again, I will leave the link below from here so you guys can read more about it. But, let's start off with Hogan. Hogan, big wrestler. He's still considered a big name in the business. He is he's not a saint. Let's make it that clear. He had made some mistakes in his past. Some of them actually leading to his divorce with his wife. I don't know if the wife that he eventually had an affair with was still married or not. That's irrelevant. What's irrelevant is that it was recorded. Now, how this got recorded, I don't know. From what I understand, the paparazzi's probably snuck in his home. You know how the paparazzi can get when they want something, and probably recorded it. But the point is that you had in media, and this is why, in case anyone keeps asking me why I don't do gossip reporting, it's because of this reason. Gossip reporting is junk reporting, in my opinion. It has no value other than to spread gossip about something that may or may not be true. And this is one of the things I say to everyone: be careful what you read. The U.S. magazines, these inquiring magazines, all these newspapers that dedicate themselves into basically hounding some of these celebrities more so than actually just reporting the right news, can not only be damaging because most of the stuff is not true, but you got to ask yourself how the hell they got these pictures. I pretty much doubt that they gave permission, and a lot of times these pictures are taken without their permission. And even though there has been some new regulations to downplay these paparazzis for just going in people's faces, taking the pictures, especially after the incident with Princess Di, which really caused some of the countries to really crack down on the paparazzis and how they hound some of these stars. They still are out there. They're still doing this stuff. Let me explain how this thing works a little bit in the old school ways. These media outlets, these tabloid medias, they get information, they get pictures based on these paparazzi, which are freelance photographers. They get paid depending on the value of pictures and the gossip that actually go behind it. They take a picture, they sell it to them, and they post it from there. This is something that eventually happened to Hulk Hogan. According to this article, Peter Stern said that the company is held liable for even a fraction of the $100 million suit. Walker CEO, the owner Nick Dolan would be forced to seek outside investment to keep the company afloat. So basically, if they lose this suit, that's it for the company. And this is something that what the headlines are saying, that the company, it may spell the end for this media outlet, which is called, I believe, Gawker Media. That's what they call. And I'm sorry to say it, but maybe that's good. Maybe that will send a message that, hey, you can't continue to just basically, run amok and basically invade these people's privacy. I mean, these actors, yeah, they're actors. They know what they got into when they made it big, but at the same time, they do have a right to privacy. You can't have anybody just walking in, sneaking in their backyard, trying to, basically climb climb through their windows just to take a picture or make a video of them. And a lot of these paparazzis are notorious for that, very notorious for that. They don't have that right. And showing a picture of, showing a video of this is definitely not one of them. Now, we all know that sometimes these actors and actors leak their own videos. That's something that I know, everybody else know, but it's very clear that Hogan didn't do that. The fact is that these guys were being completely disrespectful or not taking it down, or even ask where this video came from is an indication of just how much they wanted to do, willing to post, willing to go just to get ratings or get viewers or get hits. And to me, you don't need the company like that existing. It's gonna be a big fight. According to this, Richard Hank's independence allows him to do things like post this video and then fight it in court. And it also says here that that Dalton's Rise Hawk Independence has refused to take the virtual capital, the vulture's capital money, like other digital media companies like BuzzFeed and Vince Ceren's. Sorry, I'm going to read it again. And BuzzFeed and Vince. Strange told the NCC rule Hagen Hawk that independence allowed him to do things like I just read before, to post these videos. But the thing is, if you're constantly fighting this in court, whether it's Hogan or anybody else on a similar situation, you're going to lose more than you gain. And eventually, if this $100 million lawsuit goes forward, that's it. I mean, there's no way you can recover from that, especially from a lawsuit for that. Nobody's going to even come near you if that's the case. So, yeah, this is going to be one of those things I'm definitely going to be looking into more. I'm going to be following it more. And if you want my honest opinion, if they close down, great. I'm being honest. It's about time that these people start to learn a lesson. You can't just trample on people's personal space like that. You just can't. Again, I'm kind of curious on how the hell they got this video in the first place, which I think that's going to also reveal itself as the court proceedings here. Question also raised if it's going to be made public. That's a good question as well. They may keep it private, they may not, but only time will tell. So I'll leave a link. You guys can check a look at it, see what you think. But I'm moving right along. Let's go to the entertainment area of movies. As you guys know, remakes seem to become a dime a dozen these days. And one of the remakes that are in the works or in the filter pipes right now is something that I'm kind of surprised they want to make, and that's Kindergarten Cop. Now, this has actually been reports that they actually want to do it with some major changes. And if you've seen the movie like I have in theaters, I'm not saying I'm too shocked, because I was surprised of the inappropriate content that was in the film. And it was supposed to be an action comedy, which I don't have a problem with action comedy. It's just the way they went about doing it with this film. It's like, this is, it's not a parent's going to be really not happy with this movie. Yet, I didn't think the movie was good enough to make a sequel, let alone a remake. So I was kind of surprised that they even talk about a Kindergarten Cop remake. Arnold Schwarzenegger obviously is not going to be involved in that one, but it doesn't really matter. Why would you want to have? Maybe it's just me, and why would you consider this to be a big thing for Hollywood? I mean, out of all the remakes you could have possibly touched on, especially with an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, you picked this one. I guess the fact is that it wasn't that great of a movie, and the fact that Arnold really don't do good with comedic films. I never got Twins. Junior was a guilty pleasure film, but even I recognize the big flaws of that movie. But it's just that it's weird. It's for me that they actually, out of all the lists, I understand Total Recall was not a big hit, but still, it wasn't bad. I mean, you could still go with some of the films. I Granted, I don't think anybody would be too happy if they try to make a Commando remake, but Kindergarten Cop really was. Well, do they have a cult following? And I don't know about. Maybe time will tell. I don't know, but that is something that is happening here, and I'll leave a link below so you guys can read it. But to me, it's just, I don't know. It's one of those movies I just don't get. It's one of those remakes I don't get. I probably will not get, at least until the final product come out and I see a trailer. Maybe my mindset will change depending on where they went. But I'm still scratching my head on that one. Let's talk about streaming. As you guys have heard, a big fiesta has been happening in the New York area with Orange is the New Black cast. They was here in the convention. They had their premiere this past Friday. It came a little earlier than expected, and so far, from what I understand, people is enjoying it. My sister, which I didn't talk to yet because I want her to enjoy her shows. She already said to me she's not picking up the phone because she want to watch the episodes. And even though I know my sister well, she's going to be very upset, not about the show, but the fact she have to wait another year to watch another full season of Orange is the New Black, because as you all know, it goes by binge episodes. They give you all the season episodes in one lump, and you can watch it and stream it one episode after another. It'd be pretty much an own mini marathon for you guys, for those who like that kind of stuff. And so far, this trend that Netflix has really been a master of has worked well for them. But surprisingly, that's not what I want to talk about. I want to talk about the streaming alone, because there has been articles out there about how much it has impacted Hollywood, to the point where people saying, move over Hollywood, here comes Netflix, and other streaming networks that are popping up now. In the last few years, we're seeing even other major studios are starting to move to streaming, and streaming right now has been getting a lot more attention, especially original content shows. In the last few years, we've seen them being more recognized by the award committee, as well as by critics who basically dedicate vlogs and even do reviews on these streaming. So more so than I was actually would thought they would do, and that's a good thing. Streaming has become the next wave of entertainment, because a lot of good shows are not on free TV, not even on cable, but it is actually on streaming networks. Orange is the New Black is one of the shows. House of Cards, another show. Vismo got a couple of shows of their own. Even YouTube is starting to get into the swing of things in terms of streaming and on internet programming. So internet programming in general, not just streaming, but internet programming in general, is really started to take shape, where now our TVs are adjusted to deal with streaming. And right now, as the question may go, is Hollywood a little nervous? Is Hollywood a little afraid that this will actually hurt them in the long run? I'm going to say no, and I tell you why. Because for many years I've been following this, Hollywood is actually having embracing the streaming idea a lot more than what I think people are realizing or fail to realize. For instance, a few years back I mentioned that there's been a huge battle with the movie theater industry as well as Hollywood, because Hollywood wanted to put movies in theaters for a few weeks and then pull it out immediately to put it on demand streaming. which I tell you right now, the movie industry sees spells death if that ever happened. So they recognize where the entertainment is going, and to me, I think they're going to embrace it more. I think they're going to start making more original contact streaming for streaming viewers. In fact, that's already happened with Marvel. Marvel had a successful run with Daredevil. They want to put some more shows on Netflix, and they also seem to expand their revenue beyond Netflix. We're also seeing that even CBS is starting to make a streaming network where you can get all your shows in one move. NBC's doing it. ABC's doing it. There are even HBO programming that's gonna be done in streaming. So it's not something that they're moving away from or fighting it. I think Hollywood in general is going to embrace it, but I think they're going to embrace it in a way that it's going to be slow, but it's going to be obvious that, hey, we got some movies that's going to come out in theaters, but we also got some movies that going to be on demand where you only can stream in those audience. In fact, some films that you probably never even heard of have actually had taken that route of streaming more so than they have taken with just releasing in theaters. And that's not a bad thing. That's actually a good thing, especially if the entertainment industry embraces it. It means more contact for Netflix, more contact for Vismo and other major streaming sites to post more original shows, and that's where it's going. People want to see original content, not just the same old, same old. Keep in mind, Netflix was supposed to be a video streaming site where you can watch your movies, or you can actually order a movie to be mailed to your house. We don't look at Netflix like that anymore. Even though Netflix had tried to do that before, which ended up them getting criticized for what they was doing. I should know I actually posted a vlog on how they dropped the ball on that. I can understand where they were going with, and they're now doing it right. They're slowly doing it right, where they're showing us original content, and that's the way it's supposed to do. Show us original content, which, because let's be honest, a lot of networks, whether it's streaming or cable, are moving towards original content. History Channel, they got original content. Cartoon Network, which was, in my opinion, was the Hanna-Barbera network, because all they showed was Hanna-Barbera cartoons. Now they're far away from that. Most of their stuff is original content. So when you see this, what Netflix is doing, I applaud it. They're giving us something that is original, something that they can call their own, and they can say, hey, this is a Netflix original series. You can only get it at Netflix. Come to my our channel and you will get this. Even Matic Expression, they got some original content as well that you can only get at Matic Expression. So this is where it's going. They know that dealing with something that is traditional is fine, but essentially you need to give them something that people will sink their teeth into, people will actually want and will actually spend this to describe. This is something that the WWE Network is trying as well. They're doing it slowly, but they are trying to make it work. This is where a lot of other streaming areas is trying. It's about original content, and it's about something getting it and not waiting an extra week as well, because this is something that Netflix has done so well. This is why when they say move over Hollywood, Netflix is coming, because Netflix has actually been the leading force in original content in streaming. So I don't see Hollywood backing away. I don't see Hollywood fighting it. I think Hollywood is embracing it, and actually other networks are embracing it as well. Let's be realistic here. The last few years, a lot of shows have been nominated for awards in terms of television viewing. Hasn't really been on television, but more on streaming, and you're going to see a lot more of that as years go by. So, like it or not, this is where the new entertainment is coming. This is where it's being shown. What's your opinion about that? I'll leave a link to some of the stories that I followed. I'd like to hear your opinion on that, give me your opinion on it. Well, that's pretty much all it is. I'm keeping it short today. But the stories that I talked about, what you think about it, what your feelings on it, I'd like to know what your opinion on it. Until then, this is J77 saying take care, be safe, and I'll talk to you soon. Goodbye.